only have 2 sessions left before the wrap-up. And this next session is a really, really powerful one. Who here has met David Howell? You heard James today, James Mastrato, who's a pretty smart guy, refer to David as one of the best and smartest people he's ever met. And I think David has kindly agreed to come and share about 2 things. First of all, he is someone who has built an incredible business. All of you here use dynamic methods, whether you know it or not. It is part of any rental application. It's part of almost every form. And since 2005, he has built that business incredibly. It's a small team, it's just 11 folks, but they've done something that's actually made us as a country do stuff better in something that causes a lot of stress for folks, renting things out and moving to a property. And that's hugely awesome. And he has gone through that path of building that, scaling that, having huge impact. And he's going to tell, okay, I'm sorry, I'll be quick, honest. He's not just going to tell a bit of that story about, how he's come to and how we built that business, but to the events of last year where, he has gone through and looked to see how he can scale that business and kind of hit some opposition, including folks in this room. So, David, thank you for agreeing to share your story. And to interview him again, welcome back to the stage, AJ. Please give a hand to David and AJ again.
David, good to have you.
Thanks, AJ. Thanks, John.
I'm a big fan of dynamic methods, and I've used your products for as long as I can go back, including starting my career as a real estate agent and using your forms to do an agency agreement. And I remember looking at it and going, that is a really clean UI. And then I decided to go into tech. So, yeah, like I said, I'm a big fan, but I'd like to hear from you. Could you tell us a little bit about dynamic methods for the people that don't know, and what the company does and what unique value you bring to the real estate industry?
Okay, so the way I describe dynamic methods is we're a software company that specialises in real estate, but most of you would know us through our software, our platform, which is around forms and agreements and compliance. And around the country, we provide the forms and agreements platform for basically every type of transaction in real estate. So whether that's residential sales, property management, commercial leasing, holiday leasing, all those types of things. There's a form in real estate, we've got it on our platform. It's interesting. I'm trying to think about what was unique about us, and I think probably one of the biggest things is we built our product API first. All right, so what that means is obviously we build our technology around an API that we then build a user interface on top of, but we made that API available to everyone in this room. So anyone in this room who wanted to not have to worry about forms and compliance and this state does it like this, that state does it like that, can just use our API. And that allowed us to focus on what we do and allowed you to build cool, innovative products and not worry about compliance and forms and all those types of things. So yeah, that's probably the quickest way to describe.
Great. Last year, there was a fair bit of press around the deal with Dynamic Methods and REA, and it's just we thought we would unpack this at this forum. When REA Group first approached you with the interest of acquiring Dynamic Methods, how did that make you feel as a founder? What were your initial thoughts and emotions about that opportunity?
Obviously, I was surprised. A lot of people told me that, a big company would be interested in us, and I never really believed it. We were just building our platform and just growing. However, it was what can I say? It was an amazing feeling, absolutely. it's kind of what, when you build a startup, bootstrapped, no investment, and then you've got someone like REA Group who's interested in investing and acquiring you to get to the next level. It felt absolutely amazing. When I started the business, before I even got into real estate, I said to Anita that I was going to start Dynamic Methods and I was going to sell it in 5 years. And that was, 15 or nearly, 17 years ago. So still haven't quite got there.
So excitement initially. Yeah, it would have been, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it was my family. It was, my kids were set. It was potentially huge.
So a big emotional high at that stage.
Yep.
Yeah. Then now take us back to the pivotal moment when the deal fell through. What was your immediate reaction and how did you process such a significant setback?
I think I'm still processing it, I guess. Everyone's like, oh, how do you do it? How do you, and you just kind of get up and you get back to work. Running a company or being a founder, you're always hit with setbacks. I'm not going to lie, it affected me, affected my mental health massively. It was, the extreme highs to the extreme low. But you keep on going. I think I was lucky, and I think James was saying before, I wasn't in a position where it's not as though I had a runway or anything like that. I'm running a small profitable business with that's continuing to grow. This year has been our best year as well. So we're still growing. So I didn't have to sell. It was an opportunity to accelerate our growth. So look, it wasn't the end of the world, but it certainly felt like it at the time. But you get up and you get back on the horse, and I love my job. I love what I do. I'm still doing it. So, yeah.
So reflecting on that period of intense pressure, were there specific values that helped you stay grounded and keep moving forward?
Yes. It's hard to talk about. I think the team around me was probably the biggest thing. Kylie, AJ, Anita, and even the team in Adelaide. So when it all, when it was all going on, we would keep the team as informed as we could and as transparent as we could, but not have to. We didn't want them to worry either. And obviously, the very first thing I was told is the deal's not done until the money's in the bank, and that is very, very true. The point I'm trying to make there was we were as transparent as possible without going into too much detail, which gave everyone the security and the ability to kind of stay motivated, keep moving. The team didn't need to have any concerns, but I know that can cause problems anyway. But I said to John earlier in the break, we did not lose a single team member from our company, which I think shows that we did our job there. So yeah.
So I think you've touched on this before as well. What was your approach to refocusing and remotivating the team after the deal had fallen through? And were there any key lessons that reshaped the way you led the company from that point on?
I think, look, today, this morning with Steve, I think that really was that was interesting because I could align to the two things. So, being an agent of change, but then the fear of change, and then not having the tough conversations. So I feel like Dynamic Methods is an agent of change. We've built this platform that has really enabled Proptech to not have to worry about these little niche things. And then the deal, when the deal was public, there was this fear that went around, and rightly or wrongly, there was this fear that went around, rumours went around, all those types of things. And then probably my biggest failure was not having those tough conversations. And that's the thing. I should have had those tough conversations, and maybe things would have been different. But yeah, but probably the only other big lesson I learnt was no one knows your business better than yourself. So I trusted some people to do some of the things which I should have done, which was those tough conversations. So yeah, I think hearing Steve this morning was really kind of hit home on that one. But yeah, it's a learning experience. It was it was very unusual. It was very unusual coming, being Dynamic Methods where no one really knows you, but a lot of people using your platform, to being, in the AFR around, in a article around ACCC. It was just unusual. It was just weird. So it was a bit of a trip from that point of view. Yeah.
Now, was that a curveball to ACCC? Did you see that coming?
No, I didn't see that coming. Wish I had seen that coming. Look, I know the ACCC have a job to do, and they're doing it the best they can. I think it's going to be very tough for big companies to acquire, profitable businesses moving forward. And I think that's probably something you have to factor in, like James will have to factor in, and John. It's going to be a risk factor that is going to be more so than it already is. So it's going to be interesting how all that plays out from an ACCC perspective. Yeah.
So finally, looking back, what advice would you give to other PropTech leaders that may find themselves on a brink of a transformative deal like you had? And how can you build resilience and navigate through such high-stakes situations?
Okay, so the deal's not done till the money's in the bank.
Okay. Second time.
Yep. Have a good support network around you. What is interesting is some people who you thought were friends will not be your friends. But then the flip side is you'll find people who, I had some people who just rang me up and said, are you okay? Things like that. So that was really nice. But back to, in terms of the business, know your numbers. Like James says, be strategic around what you're doing. It's not about, it's not about the money. It's about what the strategic value is and where you can go with it. I think at the end of the day, just be kind to people, and be a nice person, because you don't know what everyone else is going through. Look, even though some people in this room were against the deal, I know it was the business that was talking, and not them personally. But then on the flip side, there were some personal attacks as well, which just probably didn't need to happen. So you just got to be prepared for that. People do weird things around money. So but having a good family, good support network, and good friends certainly helps. Life's too short to be upset forever.
Yeah, agreed. Ladies and gentlemen, David Howell.